1, 2. Oh, shit. Oh, man, it's that time again? Good morning. This fucking music's putting me to sleep. Ooh, how we doing, man? Good morning, everybody. Mark's Conte reporting. Good morning. Listen to some cerebral music for the mind. Right? Most music is for the dick and vagina, but sometimes music is for the mind. Right? It makes you, instead of making you wiggle, it makes you think. This is called thinking music, also known as sleeping music. Just trying to make sure my light is right. How do I look, man? How's my hair? Is my hair beautiful today? Look how beautiful the fucking hair is. I love it, man. It's so beautiful. Beautiful, man. So, yeah, you heard, man, racist cereal. Fucking crazy shit, man. Crazy shit in the world, man. Crazy shit in the world. I'm gonna turn this fucking boring-ass music off, man. This shit is boring. This is boring. This is what's called boring. All right? It's fucking boring music, man. It's just all you can say about it. So, anyway... So yeah, we'll talk about some stuff, man. It's fucking, I can't believe this story, man. It's about racist, some MP. It's a British woman, and she is a former or current member of Parliament. An important person in England says that points out that Kellogg's is racist because of the imagery on top of the boxes of cereal. One is of 3 shining white boys. White boys, she calls them, on Rice Krispies. And then on Cocoa Puffs, there's a black monkey. Black monkey, that shit's racist. So take a look at that story, man. This is fucking sick racist minds, right? Also, what's the big stories? I forgot what I put in the title. Yeah, so we'll take a visit down CHASville, which is now looking like HYPOCRISYville, right? Everything they said they stood for: anti-racism, anti-gun. They were anti-gun. Now all of a sudden they got guns. They were saying borders are bad. We want open borders. Tear down the wall. Meanwhile, they're building a wall around CHASville. So we'll look at some of the hypocrisies there. I guess what goes around comes around in the world of politics. It's like Animal Farm, right? The animals go to their farm, and they want to create a free and just society for all animals. And then within hours, well, not hours, but within months, they start to conform and start to become the enemy. They become just like the other farms, the other human farms, which hold their people down, which oppress their people, right? That's what CHASville is. It's an example. George Orwell was right. All democracies, all human, unless you change human behavior, unless you change the human psyche at the meditative level, unless you have a spiritual awakening, you are bound to become exactly what you tried to leave. I'll just hold that thought. Think about that for a while, because I don't really know what I just said, but it sounded really good. All right. Also, the coronavirus scare, there's some stuff going on there. We'll talk about that. And what else are we supposed to talk about? Yeah, so racist cereal. Okay, so welcome, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Marcus Conte reporting. Sassafras in the house. Vinny DiMartini on the wrench. Don't be a dick in the chat, and you will be allowed to speak, or you will get timed out for 3,000 seconds, which is roughly 5 minutes. You'll have to sit there and suck it up. You have to suck it up. Be a real dick, and you get fucking chopped out. So, good morning, everybody. Miss Chicago in the house. Chris, Mike, Jason Walsh, Harkview Cinema is in the house. Carol Hayes. Good morning, Carol Hayes. Jason Walsh, JB. What a crew. What a crew we got, man. We got real people, man. Real people. Yesterday's story wasn't so hot, man. I look at stats sometimes, man. The shit was like fucking. I felt a little embarrassed, man, doing that gay shit yesterday, right? Fucking. I thought it was a good story. I thought it was, civil rights. People would be up in arms about civil rights. People don't give a fucking shit about civil rights, really, when it comes down to it. What a victory. Bill West, one of the guys that commentates, one of the people that comments in the comment section, made a really good observation, and it made me think. He said that the most of the country, I asserted in that piece yesterday that most of the half the country doesn't have discriminatory laws protecting gay and lesbian and LGBTQ people. And Bill West said that those people don't need it, right? Only the people in the cities need it, with immigrant-laden populations need it. In places where they don't need it, they just say, oh, that's Johnny, he's different. Right? They smile and say, Johnny's different. And it made me wonder if because my assumption was that half the country, and I might be wrong, I'm trying to correct the record, that half the country refused to protect gays and lesbians by law, right? And I might be wrong in saying that. It's just that they don't need the law because it's not something that they would ever do. Although there are scattered cases where it was in fact. So I don't know. I'm not really sure where I stand on that. I got to think about that. But it was a great comment, and it made me wonder if I was inaccurate in saying that there is a need for these types of laws in places where there wasn't any civil rights laws that protect people under the law. But if nobody's breaking the law, why create a law in the first place? So it was good stuff. So Marcus Conte reporting. Kindly go to my website. This is Marcus Conte. I'm very important these days. I have my own domain, and it's really just putting up the videos to circumvent or skate around the censorship, the rampant censorship that our fine provider provides for us. And while you're there, kindly become the way I sponsor this channel, the way you sponsor the channel, the way I survive and eat is through PayPal by dropping some coin in the tip jar. Patreon, you can join for, as little as $2 a month. Very, very helpful, makes the thing possible. Down the road, I don't rule out, corporate sponsorship. If someone said, hey, listen, you want to sell our product, and you want to do it, do 30 seconds every clip on our product, like sell gold or something, I would do it if I believed in the product. I have to believe in what it is. If it's something that is humane, like some kind of vegan thing or some kind of financial asset for regular people, some sort of thing like that, I would do it in a second. But until that moment comes, right, we are totally. And I will let you know if I well, you'll definitely know because you'll see the ads. But anyway, that's how I support the show right here. So let's talk about this. So why no super chat, Spirit Child? Super chat. This channel is not monetized. This channel has been demonetized over a year ago, over the whole New Zealand bullshit. You can't speak the truth, right? Maybe it'll turn around, maybe it won't. It doesn't look like it will, because it's the channel itself is still shadow banned. You don't see. You could try to search my name in Google and you won't find the main channel. You'll find all my little shitty channels, my little side channel, backup channels, but you won't find the main channel. That's called shadow banning. The channel is shadow banned and demonetized. So super chat, and the way I understand it, even if you got super chat going, Google takes about 30% of it. So that's why it's a demonetized platform. It's only monetized by you and any other monies that I can scrounge up through sponsorship, which might be an avenue to go down, right? Because I'll sell anything, man. I'll wear your hat, I'll wear your T-shirt, I'll put a gold tooth on with your name in it. I'll spray paint across my forehead. I'll do fucking anything, man. Anything to keep going, right? You know what I'm saying? As long as I got to believe in the product, though. That's the difference, right? I'm not going to sell some shit or get behind some shit that I don't believe in, right? Because that's I am a man of integrity, and that's why I'm so famous and so popular, and so I have such momentum. Not because I have beautiful hair, but because of those things. So progressives. The progressives, they're still calling themselves progressives. Those are the people that got fucked by backing Bernie Sanders, right? They got screwed, right? They got screwed in the ass by Joe Biden. Joe Biden's team and the DNC fucked Bernie Sanders as his progressive movement, and Nina Turner and Cornel West and all those guys. They got screwed, right? And but nonetheless, they're warning Biden to change policing platform or lose black support. So right. I mean, how many times you got to get stabbed in the back, right? How many fucking times, progressive people that you call yourselves progressive? What are you progressing? You're digressing. You're not progressing anything. You're digressing into stupidity and submission. They fucked you. They robbed you, and now you're giving Biden advice to win black support. Why? Because progressives are going to support Joe Biden after they got fucked by him and his team. So ridiculous. However, progressives warn Biden to change policing platform or lose black support. I would agree that Biden should change his policing platform, which he says he wouldn't defund the police, he would refund them. He's right along the same line as Trump. And but you have most of the country saying defund and/or reform of the police, the way these brute fucks, operate, right? The terrorists, right? They terrorize people, right? Get your hands against the wall, put your hands behind your back, right? And try to, choke you out and beat you up. This shit's got to change. The whole culture of policing has to change, and Joe Biden is not with it. Presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden could be facing a progressive reckoning. More than 50 left-leaning organizations signed a letter to the former vice president criticizing his policing proposals, cautioning that he risked losing black support ahead of a November election if he didn't alter his platform. I mean, any idiot can see that, right? Blacks are up in arms about the perceived targeting of them by police. So why wouldn't you? I mean, if that's 30% of your voting bloc, I think the country's 13% or 15% black. If that's the core of your Democratic Party, which is only less than 25% of the country is Democrat, less than 25% is Democrat, and this 13% of the country is black. Democrats view blacks as the core, the meat and bones, the meat and potatoes of their party. So it makes sense that if all the blacks are against police brutality, you should be too, if you want to represent the party. But Joe Biden doesn't represent anybody. Joe Biden represents the corporate class, the corporate elite, who need the police. The police are the strong arm, the totalitarian wing the finger in your face, the foot on your neck, the boot right on your throat. That's what the police are for the oligarchs. Because if people start to be free and open and not thrown in jail for jaywalking and stuff like that, then you have the seeds for real change. People gathering and talking. Ooh, see, coronavirus was it was a great cure for people gathering and talking. It really, really worked. So Biden's on the wrong side of history here with the blacks. He's not. I don't think he's going to be president. I find it's shocking that the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, if that even makes sense anymore, is supporting Biden after they screwed him. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why? Trump is the same. Why do you want to switch it out for a criminal who stole from you? Did Trump steal an election from you? No. Trump won an election from the guy, from the lady who stole it from you. Trump won the election from Hillary Clinton, who stole it from you. And now Trump is gonna beat the guy who stole the election from you again. All right, two screws in the ass. All right, 2016 Sanders twice. All right, so he was your guy, right? Progressive. So it doesn't even make sense. So let's look at this. I love Ron Paul's perception on COVID-19, calling it a hoax. So Ron Paul is the second wave, another COVID-19 hoax. Another COVID-19 hoax, quote. That's quoted. So he's saying the first one was a hoax, which we have to believe, right, at this point, because there's no significant evidence on the ground to suggest that there's any fucking thing wrong anymore, that we are creating an enormous immunity problem in our country by keeping people separated and keeping people masked. That in itself is causing a resurgence in flus across the country, or soon to be. I mean, that's just basic biology, but they don't teach you that in mainstream media. They teach you, put your mask on, you'll be safe, which is categorically and medically an insufficient remedy to stop COVID-19. Keeping people away, it doesn't work. For a dentist who's in your mouth, is in the mouth pulling a tooth of the COVID-19 patient, that's different. You can get hit with spit and slime and get splat, but there's no fucking reason to be walking around with a surgical mask on outside, even inside. It doesn't fucking transmit that way. So, Ron Paul, just a week or so ago, the mainstream media and thousands representing the medical community told us we must throw out the stay-at-home orders and go to the streets to protest the death of George Floyd at the hands of police. Did they say that? Yeah, they sure did. Well, they supported it. The COVID-19 virus will not bother people who are protesting this injustice, they said. The virus only attacks people leaving their homes to protest the stay-at-home order. That's true, right? Because even in New York, you saw the example of they had a stay-at-home protesting the stay-at-home order in City Hall in Lower Manhattan. And within 20 minutes, the governor called in and police swarmed the park and shut the park down. It was only 20 protesters. Now thousands, tens of thousands of roaming protesters were encouraged to do it for the most part. So that is an accurate, very, very accurate in my eyewitness. Now, after thousands of businesses, many of them black-owned, have been reduced to rubble, and innocent people in the inner cities no longer have anywhere to shop for basic necessities of life, the mainstream media has backed off on its nonstop coverage of the protests. Suddenly, last week, they all simultaneously embraced a new fear story to terrify the masses. A second wave of coronavirus was among us. It was targeting those states that dare to open up their economies and begin to return to relatively normal lives. So it's just they attack President Trump. Of course, they they attack Trump's rally. Trump wants to have a rally, and they attacked him. But meanwhile, the protesters are, the protesters are done. Where to next? COVID-19, fucking, that's crazy shit, man. I don't know what to make of that shit. I think it's a hoax. I always did. As we started to see, who's this guy chopping bricks with his hand? That looks painful. Ow, 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 ah, bang. Let me see you do it with your head. That's a lot of brick breaking. I wonder if those are real bricks. I bet they are. It's fucking crazy, man. It's crazy what advertisements, they want you to see this. Why do they want us to watch this? What is this? Man breaks 100 bricks in under a minute with his bare hands. That was fucking awesome. His previous record was 50 bricks in 40 seconds. Wow, that guy's some serious shit. So Texas sees record number of coronavirus cases, hospitalizations, right? So this is I only wanted to point this article out right here is because this fucking commercial won't stop playing. Because it doesn't, when you read the headline, Texas sees record number of coronavirus cases, quote, hospitalizations. The fact is that they're seeing record numbers of coronavirus cases because they tripled the number of testing they did. The more you test, the more you discover the antibody for coronavirus, which is a fucking flu. So the whole thing is highly misleading. It's highly misleading. Texas Governor Greg Abbott tried to tamp down fears of a second coronavirus wave on Tuesday as the state set new records for daily cases. New records because more people are being tested. If you test 1,000 people and find 200 cases, that's it. But if you test 5,000 people and find 800 cases, that doesn't mean that there's more infection. It just means that you're discovering what's already there. And as we now know, asymptomatic transmission is what? Very rare. If you don't have symptoms, you can't spread the virus. It's very rare, according to the fucking, the WHO that slipped and said it. Right? So, or the Center for Disease Control, excuse me, WHO didn't say it. CDC said that asymptomatic transmission is very rare. So in Texas, Governor Greg Abbott tried to tamp down fears of a second coronavirus wave. The Lone Star State's health department tallied 2,600 new infections, the most reported in a single day since the beginning of the pandemic. Great. You found fucking another 2,000 people with the flu. They're sitting home with the flu. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. There was also a new record for COVID-19 hospitalizations for the 8th time in 9 days with 2,500. You wonder how many people they're encouraging. Oh, you have to go to the hospital. Oh, you're so sick. Go to the hospital. An increase in nearly 200. So this is another bullshit story. Another bullshit fear-mongering fucking story trying to get Texas to stop doing what they're doing because they're doing it right. They're opening shit up. And here's the other extreme. This is an extreme article. 18 members of nature-loving cult remain jailed in Hawaii for breaking quarantine. So it is ironic that he is black and he was targeted for a quarantine. Maybe they don't like blacks in Hawaii. I don't fucking know, man. But he is definitely black. It plays into our black cereal story that's coming. It's coming. Just relax. It's not much of a story, but it's really fucking funny and interesting, and you're going to have to wait for it. So in Honolulu, most of the 21 people part of a group who call themselves a misunderstood nature-loving family remain jailed Tuesday over allegedly violating Hawaii's traveler quarantine, even as they agreed to return to L.A. So Eligio Bishop, leader of the group, known as Carbon Nation, was released with two others Monday. So this is ridiculous, right? Fucking they're holding 21 people in cells because they went to the beach. They went to the beach, and as far as nature, he was he was petting a turtle. He was petting a turtle. I definitely didn't know that wasn't allowed. Never seen a turtle before that big, he said. I've never seen a turtle just free in the ocean. The guy was marveling, an LA guy marveling at the beauty of Hawaii. And clearly asymptomatic. Nobody said that they were going there coughing and sneezing and trying to work off the virus. They just went there. But anyway, it's just barbaric. You see how he said, oh, I thought it was like every other state. Nobody's really paying attention. But in Hawaii, they got thrown in jail. So apparently 19 out of the 21 in jail are still in jail. And they say they're going to release them by the end of the week. Right? So, and here in New York, right, more ridiculousness. De Blasio looks clueless as New York City clamors for phase 2 reopening plan. He has no date. They don't even fucking have a date. They don't even have a timeline, right? It's just barbaric. He's the man with no plan. New Yorkers are already pouring into the streets for drinks, eats, and protests, but Bill de Blasio still won't say when New York City's reopening will reach phase 2 or detail other key plans for summer heat relief, business operation, and transportation. It's a total blunder. How do you keep you say you're going to pop the door open. You're going to open the ability for businesses, restaurants to reopen, but you don't give them a date. How are they going to plan? How are they going to get set? You don't just open a fucking restaurant and then food comes pouring out. You have to rehire people. You have to order. Right? There's a lot of work to do. It shows no understanding of. You have to go in and clean. You got to throw out all the shit that rotted. If you didn't do that already, you got to clean the tables. There's dust everywhere, right? It's a lack of understanding of how business works. That's why these politicians shouldn't have so much power. So here in New York, bottom line is that they do not have a plan to open up. They don't have the beaches are closed. They took down the basketball hoops. They got the parks locked, and people now are just I guess just running it over. Right? You see quite a number of people. You do see quite a number of people out. I noticed yesterday walking around in Manhattan that the sidewalk traffic is a little greater. You actually do see and feel people walking around, especially in the concentrated areas like Midtown. There's another phenomenon that I want to touch on, and I'm not ready to really talk about it yet. I have a lot of photographs where I get the sense that something like Seattle is about to happen in New York, a kind of an occupied zone. This reporter is seeing evidence on the ground, and I'll talk more about it when I get the whole idea together and get some video of it. I have some shots of it, but the gangs of New York seem to be returning, and I think that I have an idea where they're going to try to seize. Now this is pure speculation at this point. This is working theory based on graffiti art, based on troop concentrations, certain types of people gathering in certain areas, and this graffiti is now popping up. It's fun-loving, but it does seem that there could be another seizure of properties, and I'm going to point to downtown Manhattan, not exactly where. At this point, I don't want to talk about where, but I do. I get the sense of that, and I'm going to keep following that story as I develop it. So. While that's going on, while this idiot refuses to open up, that's what's happening, right? You're having gangs, drug lords and the old New York returning, the old New York where it was dangerous to go to certain areas and it was violent, and you couldn't walk around without getting something snatched off your head or your neck or your pocket. Who the hell wants to go back to that? So let's look at the irony. The absolute fucking ridiculousness of some of what CHASville tenants are saying. So you remember all along the Antifa group was about guns, right? Aren't they behind guns? We don't want guns. Guns are bad. Guns are bad. Meanwhile, now they have armed guards outside the zone, right? They were also behind no walls. Oh no, walls are bad. Walls are horrible for a country. We don't. Walls mean separatism, and it's stay out of our way. And meanwhile, this is what they're doing. As you see in the pictures, like they got walls around CHASville for the most part. They have barriers. Remember when Trump said, "Let's put up a barrier between us and Mexico," and all these Antifas lined up to say, "Oh no, it's bullshit." They're doing the same thing. It's like Animal Farm all over again. Right? They're saying capitalism sucks, but whites have to pay $10. Now that's racist. That's totally fucking racist. Right? Build bridges, not walls. Right? I need to see your ID. Right? They're saying that at the door. Young people are saying with guns, saying we need to see your ID before you cross into CHASville. And but those are the same people that said no, we don't need voter ID. So there's a lot of contradictions there. And the top one says, "Mom, send money, food, and sunglasses." Right? So they're not self-supporting by any means. They're leeches. Right? The whole idea right now is leeching, and and they claim it to be a racist-free zone, but they want whites to pay $10. So and it gets worse. Chaz occupier suggests rounding up all the white people into work brigades. Oh, that's reasonable. That sounds friendly, and it definitely sounds like a. See, I've always said that most racist blacks, they don't want equality. They want what you have, and I will go even further to say that a lot of, what I would. What most people would define as ugly, I don't. That's a gray area. What is ugly? What is beautiful? What is, we know it when we see beautiful flowers, but when we see beautiful people, you're not allowed to say those are beautiful people and those people over there are fucking ugly. Is it divided by race? Is there more ugly blacks than ugly whites? I don't know the answer to that, but what I do know is that. I suspect that a lot of ugly black people would like to be beautiful white people, right? And that's their fault, right? They'll never be something that they're not, and they fail to embrace who they are, their beauty, their inner beauty, their beauty. I get that sense that a lot of racist blacks are not interested in equality whatsoever. They're interested in taking from you. From 60% of the country that's white. They're interested in taking from you. They're not interested in this, and this becomes evident in a statement like here. Chaz occupiers suggest rounding up all white people into work brigades. So what? So they work for the blacks? It's retarded, really. It's racist. That's racism. Right? When I was on the steps of the hospital reporting on potential dead bodies in a freezer truck around the corner, and a black security guard from the hospital denied me accommodation of being there, and said, "Get your white privilege out of here. Take your white privilege out of here." Right? That's racist. That is a racist comment by a hospital worker. Right? And we're still following that story. The lawsuit is pending with New York State Division of Human Rights against a black racist who escorted me off the property screaming white privilege. Those are racists. Those are racist people. That's right. Some of the very same people protesting against racism and slavery want to enslave people based on their skin color. Right? Sounds reasonable. The discussion appears to be focused around identifying potential white supremacists who are trying to infiltrate Chaz, a 6-block area of downtown Seattle occupied by Antifa and Black Lives Matter supporters after the police fled their precinct. The area now seems to have been renamed CHOP. Why? After some of the occupiers wanted to send a message to anyone who resists their fate. would resemble what happened during the French Revolution when adversaries were beheaded. Wow. So now you have black racists and dictators saying that, using the word beheading people as in the French Revolution. I can help to. This is a stupid article, but anyway, we got the clip out of it. There are a lot of ironies here. What's this? It's 13 minutes long. It was previously revealed that Black Lives Matter occupiers were demanding white people each hand over $10 to their Chaz comrades as a form of reparation. True. As we highlighted in the video below, Chaz has quickly descended into chaos and violent anarchy we all fully expected, although the media still ludicrously describes it as peaceful and friendly. I don't know. I disagree. It's silly season. It's kooky and crazy and racist, but I fail to see the violence. I think the police bring on the violence. But I could be wrong. A lawless kind of area run by people with lack of direction and these kind of ideas of reparations for blacks. Every white should pay them $10, and or round them up and put them in work camps, is quite revealing, and is something that I'm seeing here in New York, in the downtown area that I'm going to talk more about at another time, where you start to see roaming gangs that they're not really about equality and justice for all. They're about taking your shit. They're filling a power vacuum. Damn it. So now Chaz has guns. Seattle Anonymous Zone warlord filmed handing out AR-15s to followers. Yeah, here's the video. Thank you, Vinny, for this. So we need more people who know how to use firearms. Okay.
We just got told there's another group they're meeting with there, and then they'll be moving in a few minutes, so be ready.
So apparently there's somebody, this is a video of somebody passing out guns to people. He asks them, "Are you 18?" The kid says yes. Firearm, if they can provide for a valid hunter license. No, it's not. You don't need to provide for a valid hunter license in Seattle. You can. It's open carry. He fumbles with the gun.
Hell no, bruh.
Looks like he's going to discharge the gun into the street.
Keep that down.
But nonetheless, their constitutional rights are protected, right? As long as they're law-abiding citizens or whatever the law is, right? You can walk around with a gun and open carry and protect yourself and your brothers and sisters, right? Right, but what's the irony, of course, is that this particular movement was saying guns are the things that are killing us in our communities. And meanwhile, when they establish their own community, that's the first thing they reach for.
It might be misinformation, it might be lies. That's why I pointed out earlier. So we're just being ready. We're not
right?
doing anything.
One of the first things they reach for is guns.
Why the guns tonight?
In their own community, right? What does it tell you? It tells you that the founding fathers were correct. You don't like when the gun is used on you by the police. I get that point. But here you are doing the same. You're engaging in the same behavior that you once, you once turned your back on. Said, no, guns are bad. Guns kill. Now you have guns. You once said walls and barriers are bad. Now you have walls and barriers. You're saying that racism is bad, and you're forcing white people to pay $10 to a black. And so on, or get into the work camp. On the other hand, the Seattle police have been banned from using tear gas, pepper spray, and chokeholds as anarchist crowd reigns over portions of city. So Seattle City Council has voted to make it illegal for police to deploy tear gas, pepper spray, and chokeholds on peaceful demonstrators. There's the loophole right there for the police. What are peaceful demonstrators? The police agitate, they create the violence, and then nothing is peaceful, and that's when they employ, or that's when they start shooting rubber bullets and tear gas. They bring in the violence, and once the violence starts, then they're justified to start smoking people. All right. So, so what defines peaceful demonstration? As part of the city is being overrun by activists, declaring it an anonymous zone. All 9 members of the city council voted to strip the city police of the authority to use a number of controversial crowd control means on Monday. So pepper spray falls under the category when used against demonstrators, but not when deployed against an individual in the process of committing a criminal act or presenting an imminent danger to others. All right, so that's where the police will come in. They'll agitate, all right, whether they do it, covertly from the inside or from the outside, where they're infiltrating, creating a violent situation, and then it's justified. Then you can start shooting rubber bullets at them. Then you could smoke them with tear gas. So I tend to wonder. I think it's a win for people across the country. People in Seattle. Maybe it'll create a precedence for other places. But Seattle wins here by creating setting up a law that prevents cops from pepper spraying and using other violent means of crowd control, chokeholds, pepper spray, tear gas. But again, as I say, I would say that the police are sneaky and slippery, and they will create the violence to justify using it. And so here's the main story. Here's what I wanted to say about this is just so ridiculous. It's brief, but it's so insane. So look at the fucking argument here, right? Look at the argument. The argument is that on the left you have Cocoa Puffs, right? Cocoa Puffs are and it's written in kind of brownish black, like shit brown. Cocoa Puffs and shit brown. What is Cocoa Puffs? It's a brown fucking cereal. It's a chocolate cereal. Now, chocolate, you're trying to tell me that chocolate is racist? I eat chocolate fucking 3 times a day. Not anymore. But chocolate is racist. Is it? What's racist about it? This is what this woman, Shorthappylife, she's a MP, a member of parliament in England, said this. So it's not an American saying it, but she's clearly black as the ace of spades, right? She's definitely a black woman, right? Black. She's black. Says that the cereal, she wrote to Kellogg's. I'll tell you the story in a second, but I want to analyze the picture first. So what you see is black cereal or dark brown cereal and a monkey. A monkey, a brown monkey. Blacks hate when you call them a monkey, or the reference of a monkey, right? Is that what it is? It gets under your skin. And Cocoa Puffs used a monkey to depict brown cereal, not brown people. You idiot, you racist. You see what you want to see, Fiona. That's the problem. You're seeing what you want to see. Why don't you just look at the cereal? Have you tried the cereal? Did you say that the cereal is pretty fucking good? I would never eat chocolate in the morning for breakfast. That's not a good way to start your day. So that's what that's for blacks, right? That's black cereal. Now, on the other hand, white cereal, look, Rice Krispies. They're white. They're for white people. Look, all 3 are white. All 3 Krispies are white. They're white boys, she said. White boys. There's Snap, there's Crackle, and Pop. They're all white boys. That's fucking ridiculous, right? So one would say that, so if you're shopping and you're black, you would have to become the monkey, right? The monkey with the baseball hat and the cut off sleeves, right? Is that what it is? With his fucking spoon in his hand and milk. The milk is white. Why don't you have some black milk from a black cow? But on the other hand, if you're white, you would pick Rice Krispies. Snap, Crackle, and Pop are white boys. They're white elves. How come you didn't put a brother in there, man? Why don't you change it, Kellogg's? Put a brother, put a Chinese and a white. So everybody's covered, or a Hispanic. Put a Mexican Mexican Snap, a white Crackle, and a black Pop. You can't make this up, right? She said it. I didn't say it. She said it. Let's see what she said. Meanwhile, in Britain, cereal is racist. Cocoa Pops have been a much-loved breakfast staple for decades, with one of the most recognizable mascots in TV advertising. For decades, 10, 30 years, 40 years, when I was a kid, there was Cocoa Pops. But Coco the monkey has come under suspicion from now she's disgraced, former Labour MP Fiona Anasanya, who has written to Kellogg's asking why they chose the animal to represent the cocoa-flavored cereal when Rice Krispies uses, quote, 3 white boys. Wow. That's, if you talk, you talk about seeing the world through shit-colored lenses. This would be it, right? Miss Anasana, who was jailed for 3 months in January 2019 after she was convicted of lying to police about a speeding ticket, says that there is little difference between Cocoa Pops and sister brand Rice Krispies beyond their color and flavor. Color and flavor. Everything has color. Where does it stop? Excuse me. Where does it stop? Where does something like this stop? Where you can then what? I mean, it's like yesterday I talked about the Lincoln. Well, a few days ago about the Lincoln statue in Chicago, or wherever it is, in Seattle. They want to take down a Lincoln statue because Lincoln, who Emancipation Proclamationed the slaves out of slavery, was depicted as being above a slave with his hand freeing the slave. And blacks saw that as racist because the white man, who's then the president of the United States, is freeing and started a civil war where millions of blacks and whites died to free the blacks. They see that as racist. Take down the statue. Doing a disservice to Lincoln, who did so much for them. It's just crazy. And then, so where does it stop? It's in politics. What about flowers? What about walking down the street? Right? So what are we going to say? Like blacktop? Like black streets? The streets are blacktop. Make them white top because that's black. That's black. You're walking on black. You're walking on the blacktop. Make it white. Where does it stop? You could say that about the street. Why is the street black and the sidewalk is white? What, the blacks have to walk on the blacktop and the whites can walk on the white sidewalk? Why don't you make it all white or make it all black? It's retarded. It's fucking retarded. It's your perception. It's your mind. It's your absolute fucking mind, right? What else do we know about this? So she says that there's no difference beyond color and flavor. The former Peterborough MP, if you're in England, I don't fucking know where Peterborough MP is or from, revealed she has emailed Kellogg's UK office for clarification on why Rice Krispies have 3 white boys as a mascot, whereas chocolate-flavored Cocoa Puffs is represented by a monkey. It's a monkey. She's represented by a monkey. She's not a monkey. Does she look like a monkey? I don't know. So here's what she said. Well, given John Harvey, this is Fiona writing. Well, given John Harvey Kellogg, co-founder the Race Betterment Foundation, the foundation's main purpose was to study the cause and cure for race degeneracy. That's even a word. Race degeneracy. It would be miss to me to ask. What else did you ask? To ask. What else? It would be. Oh, so she said a lot of other stuff too. It's fucking stupid, man. This is such a stupid article. What did she say? Oh, here she says. So, Kellogg's, as you are yet to reply to my email, Cocoa Puffs and Rice Krispies have the same composition, except for the fact that Cocoa Puffs are brown and chocolate flavored. So I was wondering why Rice Krispies have 3 white boys representing their brand and Cocoa Puffs have a monkey. That's what she said. She didn't get a response. I wonder why these lunatics, this is Zero Hedge, why these lunatics, I would agree that's lunacy, are going to do, what are they going to do when they find out that some morning racists are actually browning their toast? You can't brown your toast because that's racist. Right? You got to keep your toast white. Kellogg's, of course, didn't hesitate to chuck on command. I don't know what that means. And finally, most ironically, as Breitbart reports, most likely be known to Miss Onasana, the Kellogg's Foundation, is a major funder of left-wing causes with deep ties to billionaire George Soros. Yeah, all right. So that's the whole fucking story. I'm sorry you had to wait for that, but that's really it, man. That's all that we're talking about here is it's fucking racist cereal. Could cereal really be racist? I think that's ridiculous, man. I think that's totally fucking ridiculous. So just to recap, Joe Biden better get on board with the blacks, or he's not gonna get that 13% black vote, because that's really all that could save him, right? Because most of America wouldn't piss on this guy if he was on fire, let alone vote for him. So they got to pander to the blacks. I wonder if Joe Biden eats Cocoa Puffs, because that's racist. I wonder if he walks in the street on the blacks rather than on the sidewalk where it's white. If you're not in a city, you probably don't even know what I'm talking about. But most of the cities in New York are covered with blacktop. It's tar. It's asphalt. It stinks and it's sticky and it's fucking hot. You know, when it heats up, it sticks to your shoes. It's black. That's black. So Joe Biden, so where does Joe Biden stand on all that shit too, man? So I think he's in a wave. I agree with Ron Paul. I think the next hoax and/or reinfection is a result of people decreasing their immunity, staying away from others. It's time to open up. De Blasio's wrong here in New York, right? Totally wrong. And CHASville, man. CHASville, stop being racist, man. Stop being racist. Stop eating Cocoa Puffs, right? And have both. Why don't you mix the two together? When you buy both. That is the solution. I got it. Right? After an hour. The solution to be equal, for equality, if you want equality, you have to buy Rice Krispies and Cocoa Puffs and mix them together. That is the solution, right? And no chocolate milk. You have to have almond milk. I don't eat fucking milk. Cow milk is horrible for you. Oh my God, I'm a gaseous mess if I drink milk. I haven't drank it in years. It's just terrible food. It's not meant for humans. It's meant for cows growing very quickly. So don't drink that shit. You could, great milks. You want milk? Almond milk. It's so easy to make. Almonds, cashews. You could put oatmeal into a blender, maybe a cup or two of water. Just put some nuts in the bottom, like nuts, almonds, any nut, and blend it. Except peanuts, because if you put peanuts in, it'll taste like peanut butter. But most of the less flavorful nuts, and just blend it until it's liquid and it's white. It looks like milk. You got to shake it because it's not pasteurized, but it's delicious. And no cows get harmed, and it's a good thing to do. You know what I'm saying? It's a totally good thing to do. So it's good for you. It's good for the animals. It's good for it's good for the cows. Yeah, it's good, man. So thanks for joining me. Go back to the boring music. Thank everybody for sharing. Thank you in the chat. Today's take has been here. Bebop. What's up, Bebop? Bill West, my brother from a different mother. Love your commentary, Bill West. I talked about it in the beginning if you missed it. Carol Hayes, Chris Mike, Colossal Big Shot. Colossal Big Shot was here. Creative Revival. Gitmo Holiday, thank you. Harkview Cinema, the artist. Indefension Apprehension. Sorry, man, messed up your name. JB is here. Jason Walsh, Liz Verard up in Canada. I sent you the stickers. They're on their way. Martin Gefrida. I'm sorry, Martin. Martin Gefrida. It's an Italian name. Miss Chicago, Miss K, No Censorship, Pat Hacker in the house, Proactive, Sassafras, my brother Sterling Price from a different mother. On the wrench, thank you for wrenching. Thank you for moderating. Thank you for not being a dick and forcing the moderators to time you out. Stumptown Viking, TJ, my brother Vinny DiMartini on the wrench. DiMartini, Vinny, the enforcement wing of Marcus in the morning. Vanderloo. Thanks everybody for joining me. Go back to sleep to the music. And I'll give you... This is so boring, this music. Where's the fucking music, man? Where is the music? Oh, shit. There it is. I love a sitar in the morning. I love a sitar and a beer. Sitar and a beer, man. I like a sitar. I like a sitar once in a while. Peace, everybody. Mark Conte reporting.